Welcome to another episode of the Mexcellent Podcast. If you're wondering who this lady is, well, her name's Whitney Samaglia Volker. Volker. Okay. She's married. She is a friend of mine. We're Facebook friends, so that helps. And she's also an ex-girlfriend of mine. We dated when we were 21, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 years old. So it's been a while. This is now, I think, the second time I've seen her in person in 12 years? 13 years? 13 years.
13.
So this is awesome. And this episode is going to be all about, can exes be friends and relationships? So I figured, who better to have that conversation with one of my ex-girlfriends from many moons ago. So hi.
Hey.
Hi, thank you for doing this.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think this is really new. I don't think many people have the balls to contact their ex and say, hey, do this podcast with me in the basement, you know.
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not. She is from my hometown, good old Lombard. So my life's been crazy. I know yours. Being married's got to be interesting. Everybody I talk to who's married now, it's basically
it's hectic.
Yeah?
I have a lot to do.
Yeah. And, I mean, like what? You go to work.
I gotta make dinner.
See, that's news to me because I never took you as a cooker. Because there's a legendary story between us that I'm never gonna forget, and I know you won't. Good old White Castle.
We're gonna jump right into it.
I'm going right into it. I'm not waiting because I got a bone to pick with you. So when we were dating many moons ago, we were coming back from a place called North Beach. We're leaving there. We go to the opposite end of town to go to my friend the Huskies. We had a beer there, I believe, and then she doesn't remember anything about the past. She just deletes you out of your mind once you're out. But we make our way, so across town, all the way back to my house here to switch cars. And then I'm taking her home. And I said I'd cook. I said I'd cook you like mac and cheese or something. But what did she want?
White Castle is what everybody wants when they're hammered. White Castle.
So she wants White Castle. So we pull in. I get her damn cheeseburgers.
And chicken rings.
We got like $20 worth of food. And I pull out, and I guess it was a right turn only. I didn't pay attention to that. I turn left. Whoop. They lit the cherries up on me. The cops pulled me over. And that was the awesome night of me getting a DUI back in 2007.
In all fairness, okay, you lived in Lombard for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you had been to White Castle more than one occasion. That sign was clearly stated.
I don't remember there being a sign. But anyways, I get pulled over. I end up getting arrested. And I think prior to that, I had just told you, like, I'll never get in trouble in front of you or get arrested. And like a week later, that all went down. I will post on Snapchat if you guys follow me on there, or like Facebook, I'll post pictures of all my White Castle that I devour because it's delicious. I always get like a snap or something, like a smart ass comment like, don't turn left. Ha ha ha. See, and you hear that laugh from her? She still thinks it's hilarious.
I do.
Ruined my life for a good year. But whatever. I'm not holding grudges.
Build character.
No, yeah, it definitely helped me. What was the reasons you broke up with me again?
You were super clingy and you were like obsessed with the whole DUI thing. It was like, oh my God, I don't even care about that.
I was a little over the top with it, yeah.
It was too much. That was too much for me.
Too much negativity.
Too much negativity
in Whitney's life.
But hey, I was at a real high at that point.
Yeah, you were doing pretty good.
So at what point were you cutting grass?
That was after we broke up because
really?
The owner of the landscaping company I worked for, he thought it was hilarious to send me to go mow my ex-girlfriend's yard.
It was
I got
hilarious.
that. That was great. Everybody has their laughs on me. I'm glad I'm here in the entertainment world to make people laugh. That's awesome. So anyways, getting to the topic, do you think exes can be friends?
Yeah, I think exes can be friends, but there's a waiting period. Like you can't jump right into it. It doesn't work that way.
Well, some exes, I just know that it's done. It's best to not really ever remain with anything, but like 5-6 years down the road, then it's like you're finally to an acquaintance level where you can be nice. And then distance, like if you're living in the same town, I would imagine that has a play on it as well, because you may see that person like all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And it also depends on the reasons why you broke up, how long you were dating,
I think relationships nowadays have changed completely from like even when we were in our 20s, mid-20s. I think dating is a completely different world now. I mean, what do you think? You agree with that? I know you've been married for what, 7 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, super grateful I don't have to be dating right now.
Yeah. You're good.
Seems pretty yucky.
Yucky. Dating nowadays is yucky. Yeah, you never had the joy of having to use a dating app.
No, I never had that joy. I mean, how can you date somebody just from an app? Like, I watch enough Law and Order that I would have to investigate every single person, make sure that they're not, like, a serial killer or I don't know, a rapist. I mean, no.
So what you're saying is like nowadays dating would like freak you out more than anything. It would probably stress you out more than anything. Because that is true. Like when was it Tinder when that first came out?
Yeah.
I thought it was the most ridiculous thing in the world because it's the most judgmental thing you could ever do. Where you're basing it all off the looks. Like nope, yes, like just swiping left to right.
Right.
I had a little bit of luck with it. I think when I first moved away, like Missouri, most of the girls didn't want like a relationship. They wanted a one-night stand or something, like a booty call. I don't know if I ever felt used, but sometimes you feel like a piece of meat and you're like, it's okay.
Maybe you were the one that was doing the using.
I have never used anybody once in my life for my own satisfaction.
All right. You're better off finding someone to hook you up with somebody.
I have asked friends once before, like, hey, got anybody maybe you can set me up with? And a lot of them are like, if they know me, they're like, she won't mix with you. You know, you won't mesh well with her. That makes me more intrigued. It's a blind date because dating is nothing more than a game of fishing. Really,
okay.
You know, like you're constantly throwing your lure out there, seeing what bites, and sometimes you throw it back. You don't want it. You don't want to take it home and have a meal with it.
Yeah, but at least your friend is telling you up front. You're not like dating them for 3 months and then you realize this is not working out.
Yeah, they're wasting 8 months of your life out of it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the absolute worst.
Staying friends with the ex was always not weird for me. I've had a decent amount of girlfriends, some for a few months, maybe over half a year to a year. Longest relationship I ever had was in high school, so I don't know if that counts.
It doesn't. No.
Okay, so we'll knock that one. That was like 4 years. And then the longest relationship after that would be like 2.5 years. Her and I lived with each other. We got a dog. So that was like going through a divorce, you know, where who was going to take the kid.
You never bring an animal into the equation.
Didn't know it was going to happen. I ended up getting her. Closest thing to a divorce I ever want to get to. I don't ever want to have to go through that in like in all reality.
Got custody.
I did. And you met her. She's loud. That's my main bitch right there. Mm-hmm. That's number one.
That's right.
Number one.
Stays that way.
Would you agree with your like mama knows best? Do you think that's a good...
Well, I know she's going to watch this. So I'm going to say, yeah. But okay, but yeah. in all reality, maybe like 85% of the time, yes.
I think that's a good number. Moms are typically, they go away and
they're
like...
judgy. They're super
oh, God,
judgy.
they're the most judgmental people in the world.
Absolutely.
I love you, mother,
they
but...
should be.
I trust my mom. You know, I'm not a mama's boy. I love my mother. But I do... What's that? I thought you were saying, yeah, you kind of are. But I take what she says, you know, I'll take it to heart because she's known me my whole entire life and she's only looking out for the best. And family and friends, like the ex, you're more likely to keep them around in your life because, you know, maybe it's just a better friendship than it was a relationship, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think I have any exes that but I've moved around so much, none of them are really local, you know, but I've never really had a super good friendship with an ex after a breakup. You're copacetic and you keep your distance. You know, it's where if you see each other at a grocery store, oh, hey, you have the simple conversation of, how you doing? How you been? It's the same conversation. I'm good. Great.
Yeah. I mean, I have one ex in particular that I wouldn't wave to or even glance in his general direction. I would actually
run the other way.
Run the complete opposite way. But funny fact is that my siblings, super friendly with them. So that kind of squashes your little bit of research.
I didn't do the research. I found it on the internet. Magazine. Don't worry if I read Cosmo, okay? Sometimes there's good facts and sometimes there's bad facts.
They think he's just super cool.
Really? And that doesn't bug you at all?
I mean, they'll figure it out sooner.
Yeah. I think even like coming back here, you know, back to Lumber, I've been gone for about almost 8 years. You're like the only ex that I've seen because the rest of them, I think, have all moved away. There's girls I've dated that I think I've seen, but at this point, being in our 30s, it's not even weird or awkward anymore. It's like
no,
everyone's married with kids and stuff like that, and I feel like
especially all your exes.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'm like a good luck Chuck. I don't know if I ever told you that. You dated me, and then the gentleman you're married to now, who I think was after me.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like, good luck, Chuck. And there's been other accounts of dating women. They date me, and then the next guy they meet, that's, like, the love of their life, and they get married. So I'm starting to think, like, am I, like, good luck, Chuck? I wonder if that's real.
Or
I wonder if I can be...
if, like, we were all, like, running for the hills, and the next guy that we ran into was like, help, save me.
Because I've honestly thought about this for years, because I've made the jokes to people when, you know, they'll ask, oh, you're single. Why are you single? I hate that question. Why are you single? I don't know. You know, I'm too much to handle. But, you know, explain these stories, and I start thinking about, like, holy shit. Some of the girls I've dated after me got married to the next guy they end up dating. So any of you exes out there that are not married yet, it's it's coming. Maybe we'll date again. I'll help you out.
That's not a terrible idea either.
That'd be a good business plan.
Date, especially at this stage of our lives, that it's harder to meet brand new people. You might just want to go back
and
into the ex pool.
I don't know about that one.
See if you can find someone still available.
Well, it's like at this point, is it damaged goods time? Like, is that what we're considered?
I mean, it's like, it's familiar. It's probably a little bit easier.
Okay, do you believe, like, since we're on the topics of exes, like exes getting back together? Sometimes, like, you hear the term from people, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Yeah. And then other people are like, you can't force poop back into a butthole type situation. I'm sorry, toothpaste.
I've heard that one before,
putting toothpaste back in the tube.
I've heard that about bullying, but
okay. But, if it didn't work out the first time.
Depending on how young you were the first time you dated, how broke you were, that really changes the game.
I don't know if I've ever been, like, super wealthy in a relationship, because let's face it, when I got into radio, I knew money wasn't going to be, like, a huge thing.
Yeah, but you can tell people, like, I'm on the radio.
Yeah, you can not see my face. You can just hear my beautiful man voice.
Right.
And I did go on a date with a girl once. First question out of her mouth was how much money I made. I got up and left her with the drink tab. Because all we had was a couple drinks at that point. I got up and left. I didn't even say goodbye. Do you think age plays a factor in dating? Whether it was when we were younger, or do you think now? Because a lot of people say age is just a number.
Well, those people are lying. Age is not just a number, and it plays a huge role. It depends what you want out of life. You want kids, you want a family. You gotta think about that when you're dating an old fart.
Well, men can reproduce at almost any given moment.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't want my husband to be 60 years old in the kindergarten line.
If he had a lot of money? If he was like a bajillionaire?
Nah,
I couldn't do it.
He'll be dead by the time the kid graduates high school.
You'll have enough money after he's gone. Just get a new husband.
Well, I mean...
You can always buy husbands.
But I'll be exhausted by then. I wouldn't want to have to break somebody in, start over.
Break somebody in. Wow.
That's a lot of work.
So here's a question that I've always wanted to ask you.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Okay, so you ended things with me.
Yeah.
And the letdown, I'll get to the question here in a second, so I'm going to make you wait on that. But the letdowns are funny to me. I've been dumped. I've dumped people. The lines that you use, like if you want to let them down, easy. When you broke up with me, you sat me down on a couch. It basically it's almost like a dog when they know they're going to the vet. They know what's happening. Like you get that feeling in your stomach, and your heart just starts going like, what's about to happen? What's going on? That's kind of like what you did to me. Like, but you played it so cool. So yeah, like it's not working out. Okay, and I took it like a man, much as I remember. And but with the letdowns, did you have a go-to for letting anybody down? Did you have like a go-to line, like sorry to say this, or I love you but I'm not in love with you? I've gotten that one before. I hope we can be friends later.
Oh, see, no, I never offer the friendship thing because I'm not quite sure, but I don't think I have a go-to line. I think it depends with each person. I mean, it's an uncomfortable, awkward situation. I mean, even if you don't like, you don't like the other person anymore, you still feel bad. You don't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
So you try to be real nice about it.
So it sounds like have you broken up with a lot of people?
Yeah, I mean,
Have you yourself ever been dumped? Has anybody ever broken up with Whitney?
Not that I can recall. I mean, maybe in middle school,
So you have never been dumped. That's like a goal. I should have got a gold sticker for this little podcast interview because you deserve like a cookie. Because I don't think there's many people out there that haven't been dumped at least once.
I mean, again, bad memory, but yeah. I can't off the top of my head recall any. I mean, you can attest to how fantastic I am. I mean, why? I mean, you didn't want to break up with me, so why would anybody else have?
Wow. She's always been like this. You've always been a very confident woman.
Absolutely.
So that's great. You got that going for you.
That's why nobody ever broke up with me. Confidence is sexy. Come on. That's your problem. See?
I'm confident when I want to be. I mean, I got the dance moves. I'm like Shakira and my hips don't lie.
Right. I'll agree with you on that.
I've gotten women by dancing. Yep. I like to dance. I just don't do it often. Going back to the dating thing, dates are nothing more than going to like a bar and getting drinks. That's where the hookup happens because people get drunk and sometimes you find yourself stuck in a relationship. Who knows?
Sometimes
Been there.
Right.
Been there. I'm still just kind of blown away at the fact that you've never been broken up with before. Like, you've never felt that pain.
Well, I mean, I certainly have felt that pain, but
not really.
But on my own, like, account, I caused it, but I also felt it.
I could see you being that person. Like, there's certain girls I know I've dated, and after a breakup, they have a routine of getting over things. Girls' night, have some drinks. I'm here for my girl. She just got dumped. You wouldn't know that feeling. Or she just broke up with her boyfriend, and, like, it's all about female unity that night and talking shit on the ex or whatever. Mm-hmm. Some of them would go and just go sleep with some guy they meet. They use sex as an out to get over somebody, or drinking until they're super drunk and sick, which I've seen a lot of those. A lot of girls puking, and it's not pretty when girls puke. I think I held your...
You probably did.
Yeah, I think you got sick once.
A lot of apple teenies those days.
That's hilarious that you've never been dumped, and you said you're friends with all of your exes, minus, I believe, one. So we'll wrap it up. Also, just concluding that you said exes can be friends in some time, perhaps. Some people are just never going to be back in your life because of the way things went down or whatever personal reasons. You've never been dumped before, so everybody take note of Whitney here. She's one of the few, and please leave some comments on this if, you agree with anything she said or disagree or with what I've said. If you've never been dumped before, I want to hear your story. How do you do it? How do you not get dumped? So
now you know what's going to happen now. Somebody's going to watch this and they're going to say, bullshit, I dumped her.
But thank you so much. I don't know about other podcasts, but this is one of the first I've ever known for somebody to do a little interview about exes with an ex. And I'm sure the sarcasm, everything will still remain because that's our friendship. She's a smartass with me. She reminds me every time about White Castle not to turn left. So
that's right.
Anyways, thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Mexcellent Podcast, all about exes with an ex, Whitney. Tune in next week. I'll have something fresh and stupid just for you.